Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Pitstick at soulproof.com, and we're answering commonly asked questions with evidence-based answers from the Soul Proof research. And the question is commonly asked, well, does learning all this evidence, the 9 categories of evidence shown in the Soul Proof book and documentary, does that help lighten my grief when a loved one dies? I wondered about this myself. And when my dad, who passed on 4 years ago, I found out firsthand. He and I were best friends, very, very close. And the answer is it lightens the grieving. It doesn't take it away completely, but it certainly lightens it. What it allows us to do is to feel both the good and the bad, the happy, the sad at the same time, and hold both those in our heart. In other words, on one hand, I was sorry to see him go. I was sad to see him go. At the same time, I was happy for him that he graduated as a soul. I was happy for him that he wasn't suffering, he wasn't in pain anymore. And so to hold both those feelings, happiness and sadness, joy and disappointment at the same time, can seem a little paradoxical or schizophrenic, but it's quite possible when you open your heart enough. And that's part of what knowing all this soul-proof evidence allows you to do. Years ago, I had a patient named Bertha who showed up as a chiropractic patient first thing in the morning, 9 o'clock, and she was red-eyed and bleary-eyed, and she just didn't look herself. And I said, "Oh, Bertha, what's the matter?" She said, "Oh, my husband died." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. When did that happen?" And she said, "About 4 hours ago." And I said, "What?" I said, "Bertha, we like our patients keep their appointments, but we certainly want to understand with your husband dying 4 hours ago, if you missed this, even if you didn't call." And she said, "I know, that's what all my family said. But I told them at a time like this, there wasn't anyone else I would rather be around than Dr. Pitstick." And I thought, wow, well, first of all, what a compliment, but secondly, what a beautiful example of how it helps when we're around someone whose feet are firmly planted in eternity, and we can feel their strength. We can be around somebody who knows that death is an illusion. And so that's part of the benefit of this soul-proof evidence. Now, as we learn more and more from the contemporary evidence, near-death experiences, after-death contacts, and so on, more people are seeing God as the light, the presence, part and parcel of all life, instead of Grim Reaper. Death was personified as the Grim Reaper in the past. And now more and more people are seeing death as the light, ushering us into another era of life. And so that certainly helps. It helps to know, as the evidence points out, that death is not a goodbye, but a see you later. I mean, think about it. If your best friend moved away and you'd never see him again, how tough that would be, compared to if it was only for 6 months or a year, you'd see him later. It would still be sad, but you wouldn't miss him as much. Similar situation here. Likewise, when we know that there's no such thing as a fiery eternal hell. I know I've had patients whose dad died, for example, and she said, "Oh, we miss him so much, plus we're worried he might be in hell right now because he wasn't saved." I thought, oh Lord, what a needless concern in the midst of everything else to have this. So when we know the soul-proof evidence, we know that there's no such a place, and we don't have to worry about that. So all these things help lighten our grieving. Yes, there's going to be some, but it doesn't have to be horrible. At the same time, we can feel the joy, we can have faith. So this evidence augments our faith, whatever your particular religious faith is. And in addition, now you have the knowledge, resolute knowledge, that we are all souls, you will see loved ones again, there is an afterlife for all, and there is a God who has a very fair, just system here, and we're each part of that, just like droplets in the oceanic divine. So take this to heart, share it with others. Be sure to visit our website, soulproof.com. Thank you for letting your light shine brightly. The world needs what you came here to share.